Hey guys, it's HOT-CHIVE, and today I'm going to be discussing a question that's been going around in the Dragon Ball community recently. How does Merge Zamasu stack up to Jiren? How does the Supreme God fare against a mortal that's on par or stronger than the Gods of Destruction? He's probably stronger than Belmont, but who the fuck knows. So, anyways, let's go over their feats. Zamasu, when he was fused, Vegeta was like, yo, I've never felt shit like this before. And I can't really use that against Jiren because obviously Vegeta hadn't even known of Jiren yet. But that's one thing that really shows. Now, people will say that, you know, Goku and Trunks and Vegeta with their beam struggles overpowered Zamasu. And the thing is that this is a huge problem with Zamasu. He is very arrogant and views mortals as complete and utter trash. So he just sort of plays with his food a lot, and when he's taking advantage of them, and that costs him big time because it takes off half of his face. And when it comes to breaking his halo, he probably wasn't expecting Goku to be able to use the Kaioken, or I don't know. Goku hadn't been using it throughout the entire arc. Zamasu could have just forgotten. I don't know. That was kind of a weird moment to me. But Zamasu was pretty powerful. At the beginning of his fight with Vegeta Blue, he was able to stack up pretty well against him for the most part, until he got mentally unstable and like beefed himself up, and that was that was kind of that for Merge Zamasu, because Vegeta just started to take advantage of the speed decrease and beat the absolute fuck out of Merge Zamasu. But the thing is that Merge Zamasu is also semi-immortal, so he has some hard-ass durability on his side. So he was able to take that final Kamehameha with no issue, and you could argue it's because he was immortal that he was able to like regenerate it or some shit. The thing with that is that it's been shown that Merge Zamasu's physical form can die with Trunks' bullshit spirit sword or whatever. So the fact that he was able to take that without any scratches is pretty impressive. So the thing is, with Jiren has been shown throughout the whole tournament to be a strong motherfucker. There's really nothing else to say about it. He defeated Goku's new technique / transformation. It's a little bit of both, the Ultra Instinct, and he was debatably suppressed. So that's ridiculously strong. So you might be asking, does Merge Zamasu stand a chance against Jiren? And we'll get right into it by analyzing their abilities. Now, this might jump into headcanon a little bit, but for the sake of this discussion, I think it's headcanon. It's like speculation that, you know, it's stuff that should be there, you know, kind of like how Cell should be able to use the Kaioken and shit like that. In fact, the Kaioken will be something I'll be discussing in a second. So it's not just something I pulled out my ass. It's something that can be like reasonably affirmed that, you know, Merge Zamasu has some abilities that wasn't showcased in the series for a couple of reasons. I'll get into those in a second. So the first thing that Merge Zamasu has on his plate is the semi-immortality, which makes him extremely durable, and he can just, I don't know, man. I think I don't really know how the semi-immortality works other than that, you know, he can just, I don't really know if he can regenerate, really. I think he can. In the manga he can, but we're talking about the anime version. Because when Goku fired the Kamehameha, it just fucking sludge monstered him. Made him fucking Two-Face from Batman. And that didn't really, I don't really know. That was just showing that like half of his body's dead. There's some I thought that was really dumb, but it happened, so I gotta note it. And I will discuss how he's like half dead in a second. So one thing that Zamasu could potentially use that I think he does have the ability to use, however there's evidence to show otherwise, that Zamasu could potentially use the Kaioken and get a much higher boost than times 20 because he has semi-immortality. Now, the highest number of Kaioken, or highest multiplier I should said, oh my god, the highest multiplier has been times 20, or times 100 in Lord Slug, but Lord Slug's not canon, so I'm not counting that. So, you know, times 20 is a pretty big increase. You know, that's fucking Merge Zamasu times 20. And he could probably go even further beyond that, maybe go like times 30. I'm not going to push it that far. We'll just say that Zamasu can use the Kaioken and probably has increased durability. He can probably last longer in it thanks to his god, what am I thinking? Semi-immortality, which increases his durability. Now, one thing that's Merge Zamasu's never done in his whole time, I don't think he used the instant transmission, but I know Goku Black did, because obviously he's fucking Goku. But from what I remember, Merge Zamasu never used any of Goku's techniques. He never used the Kamehameha. From what I remember, he doesn't use the instant transmission, and he also doesn't use the Kaioken. Now, there are two reasons that could work as to why Merge Zamasu doesn't use these techniques. The first one is that Merge Zamasu is very, very arrogant. He views mortals as trash. That's how he lost his beam struggles. And he probably doesn't want to use Goku's moves because he thinks his moves are good enough. He has the Lightning of Absolution. He has the Holy Wrath. He has the... what was that other move called? The Blades of Judgment. So, he has those moves. So he might just be like, oh, I'm the Supreme God. I'm Zamasu. I don't need these faggy-ass mortal techniques. So, that... which is a problem of Zamasu that I'll get into in a bit. So, Merge Zamasu has the... probably doesn't... it could be because of his arrogance. Sorry for the stutter there. But the other reason is that when fucking Goku made him Two-Face, you know, have his body purple sludge, that killed the mortal part, which was Goku Black. Which could mean that somehow it erased Goku's techniques from his memory. This is why this is the part, you know, along with the this whole Kaioken discussion's kind of, you know, speculation or headcanon, but like I said, I think it's reasonable. You can sort of make assumptions based off of what is shown in the material. So, you know, I'm not trying to bullshit you guys. I'm just sort of speculating. So when Merge Zamasu got half of his body blown off, that could have like erased Goku's techniques from his memory. Now, I think the more likely one is how he's arrogant, but I think, because I don't know, it just sort of sounds, it just doesn't sit right with me that having half of your body destroyed, you know, half of the fusee would erase their memory or some shit. Erase their fucking memory of techniques and all that other shit. That just sounds a little ridiculous. Then again, I thought the whole half of your body being blown out thing was a bit ridiculous too. But regardless, I think the former one's far more likely. So I do believe he can use those techniques. He just doesn't choose to use them because he's a fucking arrogant bastard. And another thing that he never really showcased was Goku Black's Zenkai boost. Now, Goku Black got an unhealthy amount of Zenkai boost throughout the Goku Black arc. 1 minute he was getting he was sort of fighting evenly with an enraged Goku with an advantage with Goku having the slight advantage. Then he's just like sitting in the building and Goku goes to punch him and he just catches it and then does his like divine lasso technique and just fucking puts him in his place. Fucking Vegeta beats the shit out of Goku Black, and then he like pulls that scythe out of his ass and he makes clones, or I don't really know what the fuck was going on. Not even Goku Black himself knew what was going on then, so bear with me. So So, Goku Black, as confirmed by one of the writers, prior to Zamasu, I might have mentioned this earlier in the video, he is confirmed the strongest character in the future Trunks arc prior to fusing with Zamasu. So Zamasu should have the Zenkai ability, and it should be just as devastating as it was before. Now, like I said, the second theory on how, like, you know, half of his body died with Goku Black, I don't really think that makes sense. Another thing that doesn't really make sense about that is that, I'm sorry if I'm switching topics, but another thing that doesn't make sense about that is that should make Zamasu significantly weaker, so I just don't think that theory works. So, you know, if Zamasu gets a shit kicked out of him, it should make him stronger. And I think the only reason he didn't fight on par with Vegito at the end, or at least, you know, become stronger than him, well, not at least, at most become stronger than him, was that he was mentally unstable. He wasn't in the right state of mind. The fusion was causing him to go batshit insane. So he just lost it. He became buff. He lost his speed, and then Vegito beat the crap out of him. Now, which sort of counterbalanced the potential Zenkai he could have gotten. So, really, I think Zamasu has the Zenkai ability. Now, let's talk about what Jiren has. And I've been talking about 12 minutes about Zamasu's abilities, so we'll just talk about Jiren's abilities for another 12 minutes. Now, there really isn't as much to say here. Both of them have, well, Jiren's had more screen time. He's had more episodes about him, you know, the whole arcs. I mean, the whole arc, the Future Trunks arc, sort of revolving around Zamasu, but not Merge Zamasu. Merge Zamasu was only around for like 4 or 5 episodes, maybe not even. So Jiren has been built up as a strong ass dude, and the only real thing that can be showcased about him is how easily he defeats people. But the thing is, it could be because he has Ultra Instinct. And I don't really... Ultra Instinct, you know, that's when you move without your body thinking. You know, it's sort of like your body's acting for you before you think. And I think that's Jiren's trump card. But I'll get into that in a second. So, if Merge Zamasu and Jiren were put aside next to each other, I think Jiren would be beating the shit out of Zamasu. Not because necessarily he's more powerful than him, but because of his Ultra Instinct. Because, you know, if you have Ultra Instinct and your body's just thinking for you, you're going to be extremely fast. And speed's pretty important in Dragon Ball. So, if Jiren had Ultra Instinct, it'd be pretty hard for Zamasu to stand up against him. And I'm not sure if Jiren would... One problem with Jiren is that he sort of plays with his food, or just... he's really lazy with finishing people off. I mean, there have been a couple of times where he knocks people out of the ring. Well, actually, I think there's only been 1 or 2 times when he's knocked someone out of the ring. The other times, he just fires that cool little fireball, and then it doesn't knock people out. It didn't knock Goku out, didn't knock Kale out. He doesn't care. He genuinely doesn't care. And in the time where his universe is being threatened to be erased, that's a pretty big deal. That's pretty lazy of Jiren. Now, if Merge Zamasu survived a beating from Jiren and Jiren just didn't give a shit, or I don't know, Zamasu could get a Zenkai boost, and he could probably use the Kaioken on top of that. But the thing is that, well, for one thing, Zamasu would be mentally unstable as shit, because, you know, this mortal who's stronger than the God of Destruction is beating the fuck out of him. And if you want my opinion on how Zamasu stacks to the God of Destruction, I think he could stack up to Beerus. That's just my opinion. If he can use the Kaioken, I think he could stack up to Beerus. But Jiren, when he uses the Ultra Instinct, you know, I think Jiren's Ultra Instinct gives him an edge over Zamasu, no matter what. Unless Zamasu magically pulls the Ultra Instinct technique out of his ass, but I really, really doubt it, because I don't know. Because Goku, you know, trained for a year after the Goku Black arc ended, I think it was a year, I don't know, I don't remember the time skip, but Goku had trained quite a bit. So I don't think that Zamasu would have the credentials or the training required to unlock Ultra Instinct. If he did, whew boy, if Zamasu was able to master Ultra Instinct, I don't know, man, I think he'd beat the fucking hell out of Jiren. I think Jiren would be screwed. But another thing with Jiren is that we haven't really seen his full potential. At least, unless his full potential was showed when he was fighting Goku as Ultra Instinct, but I don't really think so. So, overall, I'm gonna have to give the belt to Jiren. Zamasu, I think he has the potential. I mean, everyone has the potential to beat someone else. Unless you're like fucking Monaka. But, you know, Zamasu, I don't think he can win against Jiren at this current stage. As he was presented in the Future Trunks arc, he can get all the Zenkais in the world. He can use the Kaioken, I mean, debatably. But in the end, his mental instability and his arrogance towards mortals, plus Jiren's Ultra Instinct, would be just too much for Zamasu, and Zamasu would be defeated. So, even though Merge Zamasu is one of my favorite villains in Dragon Ball, I'm gonna have to give the belt to Jiren. Now, if you guys have different counter-arguments, you can call me out on my bullshit. If you think it's bullshit in the comment section, these are just my thoughts, guys. You know. So, if you like this, discussion, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'm out.